All right, welcome back, traders, to today's trade recap. It is Friday, March 13th. It is a beautiful day here, as always. And I hope you're out there enjoying this beautiful afternoon as much as I am. And that being said, let's get into today's trade recap. Market open, we break down, we reclaim New York open, Asia highs, and break up for a move to the upside. We saw our indicators indicating move to the upside. The TTM, the oscillator, not much resistance on this anchored volume profile, but I'm respecting my rules. That 15-minute window, more bad tends to, occur for me than good in that window, so I tend to stay away from it. I do see now going forward my 30-minute rule is a little bit too strict. There are some A plus setups and some opportunities right before that, as we saw today. So I do need to work on that. I did make a mistake in terms of I forgot about our 10 a.m. news drop, and per my prop firm, I have to be out of all trades 2 minutes before the news drop and 2 minutes after, which is that 10 a.m. window. So I saw a decent rejection off these New York highs and a node on this AVP that I felt was good resistance. We didn't have as much in this area as you see how we drop, but again, that 10 a.m. window, I forgot. I got in. I'm like, you know what? Let me just get out. Scalp 12 points. We make that move at 10 a.m. And you see here, we are leveling off on the oscillator. We're leveling off on that TTM, and we get that purple expansion to the downside. We get the breakdown on the NVIDIAs, the Teslas, the Max 7s. We get that buying pressure on the VIX and the VIXY. Everything is indicating a move to the downside. I took another trade here at that Bravo slash SMA 9. I took 19 points, should have held. I was up 700 on the day. And one thing that I need to work on is letting runners run rather than holding my losses at times. And I need to cut those quicker, let my runners run. And a lot of times, it's the mental hurdle of you put a lot of work in, a lot of time, you don't want to see those profits evaporate, but I'm limiting myself in terms of moves. And yes, um I've got a great winning percentage, but in terms of um profit per trade, it should be better than what it is, so that's something I need to work on going forward. And I'm like, it's Friday, you know what, you're up on the day, on the week, should probably be done. I did want to chase this breakdown a little bit more. Swapped accounts. I did scalp $100 here. We weren't getting that expansion into red as much as I liked, and you see here we broke up about what 60, 70 points, so I would have been stopped out. And at this point, I noticed breaking rules, starting to overtrade, and I don't want to build the bad habits going forward and break rules and chase profits doing so. In the long run, that's going to hurt me. I'm doing this for the long run. So I shut it down for the day. I went to the gym. We saw this larger move come that I was looking for, expansion into that red. We had expansion on the oscillator. We had that buying on the VIX, the VIXY. We had the expansion to the downside on the Mag 7. A plus setup. I should have taken the funded account on this move. Great setup, A plus in my opinion. Just with that news, with everything, I made a mistake on that. So going forward, I need to be better on that. Got back from the gym and we're just chopping. Like, yes, there's 60 points here, 70 points here, but again, we're in a downtrend on the day, and risk to reward is not there trying to short the daily lows. So I didn't trade anymore. I did not want to break rules and start to build more bad habits after I've been very consistent and very disciplined. I've seen my trading improve vastly over the last 2 weeks. I'm up $4,700 or $4,800 over the last 2 weeks. It was 3,700 last week. We're at about a grand or 1,100 this week. Had one red day this week. I was down 900 on Monday. And this is why I've been more consistent in sticking to the rules, because one bad day does not mean the bad week. And a lot of times that bad day would have turned into a worse day or a worse week. I walked away, I respected rules and all week, and hey, I ended up profitable on the week. Great position. 4 of my 5 funded accounts are at $1,100. We've got about 4 or 5 days left to get those through for next week. Great position. As you see here, 1 to 2 trades per account were passed. We're in the funded stage to have more funded accounts. I'll be working more on the funded account next week as well. But again, profitable on the day, profitable on the week. A lot to work on, but we are moving in the right direction. And as long as we are doing that, we are doing well. That being said, traders, appreciate you tuning in. That's today's trade recap, Friday, March 13th. Tune in next week.